When you hear from customers what they want, right? They want many things, and you just take that whole laundry list. The worst thing you can sort of do is say, I heard these 20 things from my customer, and I'm going to put it all in my device. The time and money of your product is going to be so high that maybe your product cost is not going to let it sell, right? So you want to prioritize and say, what is it I'm going to include? And this is a technique that you use to do that. Similar thoughts on that, right? If you're measuring importance of a feature to the customer versus how satisfied they are, anything below, like on a 1 to 10 scale, right? Below 5 is not worth really addressing those things. They are not important enough to the customer. If you ignore some of that, it's okay. Things that they are important but they are satisfied, you don't want to compete in that place. You just want to be equal to what competition is. Where you want to compete are important things that customers are dissatisfied with. This is opportunity for you. Okay? So when you look at your complete product, right, this is the opportunity for you. Important things with poor satisfaction. Then comes the question of, iPhone has done this very classic, is like, how much memory should the lowest iPhone have? Until now, it was 16 gigabytes, right? And just now they increased it to 32. So when you say this is an opportunity, the question becomes memory, right? People love memory. More the better. But then, of course, there is costs associated with that. And for you, the question is, how much of it should I provide? So if you look at a thing of glucose monitor, right? These are some of these features of a glucose monitor. It's like test time. Does it take 5 seconds or 12 seconds? Blood, how much blood? Half a microliter or 1 microliter? Does it have an app, right? Does it transmit data to Bluetooth, and the cost? If you provide these kinds of and tell customers to choose, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to choose the best of everything, right? Customers are very smart that way. And you said, you know what, I did a survey, I gave them the choices, and they chose this thing. What have you done? You have defined a product that you cannot make, right? So to address this issue, there is another technique called conjoint analysis. Okay? In conjoint analysis is you give them choices of feasible products, and you say, you know what, pick this or that. Okay? If most customers pick this, that means that they like an app functionality more than the blood quantity. They are willing, if more pick this, that means they are willing to tolerate a larger pricks like lancet size, but they want app over this. That guides your product development, right? So you do conjoint analysis to find out, when you say which feature you want to choose between the levels of the feature, that is done using conjoint analysis. But the point of this is you cannot design this unified ultimate product if you don't go in with that approach, because you'll never get there. Okay? So to be successful, right, this is sort of summarizing everything, you need this one killer app. Okay? This is that main parameter of value on the S-curve. Right? This is from doing this KJ image and finding an underserved need, right, that is not met today. You have to have that. Okay? You have to have these must-be features. These are things that customers assume that if you're selling, cell phones, it should last 1 day of use, right? They're not going to perhaps talk about that. They're going to talk about touchscreen and camera and all those kinds of things, right? You have to identify that and just meet the minimum. You don't need to be better than. As long as everybody's used to charging every day, You just meet the battery life of one day. Third thing is preferred features. You'll get a laundry list of features. You got to prioritize that. That is where this prioritization is that max diff. That's actually an analytical survey technique. And then the second thing is how much. That is the conjoint, which is again an analytical survey technique. You have to do that because your product can't be everything. Okay? And to sort of finish up, right, the greatest sort of innovator in our lifetime, there is a quote from him, is that innovation is not about saying yes and just putting more and more and more into the thing. It is about saying no to 1,000 things. And when you have to say no, you have to say yes to the right things. Right? That is what this is about. Okay? So if you have ideas, you're working on products, first find out this one. What is that one differentiator that it meets and it's a meets a non-existing feature, like an underserved user need. Right? That's what this KJ technique is all about. You have to have that. If it is something you are not familiar with, you have to have these must-be features, and then we have that other features, prioritization, and how much. That will sort of define a winning product.